school and different experiences within like public school system. And then I think my parents thought maybe that I had an aptitude for drama. And then they put me in classes. And then I just kind of stuck with it.
So I think that's when it started, in kindergarten. I remember it. I was in kindergarten, and you had to write what you want to be when you grew up. And I wanted to be a policeman, I wanted to be a fireman, and I wanted to be something else. So I couldn't decide. So I picked actor, and I remember the moment because I thought, oh my God, this is great, because not only can I be all of them, but it won't be dangerous. Oh, but then I went to college. I didn't do it much in high school, though I had some teachers that encouraged it. And then in college, I didn't really think of it as a profession. I thought like if you're going to be an actor, you go to Los Angeles and become a movie star, like that was the only kind of career track. But in college, I learned that I took a theater phenom majors, actually learned what theater was, because at the time I had very little exposure to theater, and that it was a craft, it's something you learn, something you could get a degree in, so that was awesome. And that's where it kind of took off from there. From there I worked at the Shakespeare Company in Charlotte, and then started this trip all around until I met Sharon. And years later, we started a theater company. And writing had come up because as an actor, I wasn't really, the parts, it's not that I wasn't getting the parts that I wanted, but the roles weren't out there that I really wanted to play. So I started writing monologues. From there, they turned to plays. And that started pretty early. That started in college. And screenplays, yeah, and all, and then making the film and all that. So it's always been about generating work, no matter what we do. And that's why I think why we work so well together is that, we generate work.
I think that the company that we lead is quintessentially Southern at its very core and its roots. And I think that those are the stories that influence us. And those are the stories that we feel compelled to tell through the medium of theater. And theater happens everywhere, and great theater can happen anywhere. And I think that that's what keeps us working here and working in the state of South Carolina, this desire to kind of broaden how even the general population might define theater, what you might see on stage, what you expect to see on stage, or what you would hope to see on stage, and how the human condition is portrayed through the art form. And there's a lot of work that can be done here. I think certainly it's an honor, and the recognition of the honor is wonderful, and I think that's been really, really nice. And we've talked before that it's winning the fellowships or being selected as fellows really kind of helped us take a look at our body of work in a different way that we hadn't before. Like even when it came down to how we presented ourselves, in terms of our own biographies and the biography of our company. And I think the fellowship really kind of sparked us to look at how much we had accomplished. Theater is the exact same thing, whether you're writing, whether you're acting, whether you're directing. It is a constant path of self-mastery.
Yeah.
And that just because you can walk and talk at the same time doesn't mean that you've necessarily arrived. But that's probably base requirement number one. And then it goes from there. So when in doubt, if you are not working, if you're not on stage, train. You
have to find a way to keep working. You have to find a way to keep working, because that's what it is. If you don't do that, then you don't progress and you sit around and waiting. And that's a horrible life for an actor in general, because actors do have to wait. And that was the whole part of I think started writing in the first place was so you wouldn't have to wait. And I think the ability now to do your own work is greater than it's ever been. Even in film now, you can do a great amount of work on your own. And I think that's the biggest trick. And I think the biggest value for me of the fellowship was the value itself. It's feeling value. Because when you're out there working all the time, you're doing your own thing, and you may not be getting as far as you'd like to get, you oftentimes don't feel like what you do is of value. So I think that was a huge, unexpected, but it was great to know that somebody valued it.